Hello my dear students, welcome to today's class. Have you had food today? So let's start our today's class. Are you ready for that? Last class we have started our new chapter, right? What was the chapter name? Do you remember that? Our chapter was adaptations in plants and the uses. And we discussed about aquatic plants and terrestrial plants, then different types of terrestrial plants. Isn't it? In today's class, we have to study more about terrestrial plants. Actually, what do you mean by terrestrial plants? Well, if you say with me, what do you mean by terrestrial plants? Plants which grows on land are called terrestrial plants. Then in our last class, we have studied about deciduous trees and conifers. Isn't it? In today's class, we are discussing more about terrestrial plants. First of all, we have to study about plants in coastal areas. What do you mean by coastal area? Yes, the area near sea is called coastal area. There, the water will be salty and the climate will be humid, which contains more water content. In coastal area, the water will be salty and the climate will be humid. And trees such as coconut, teak are growing in such places. The trees which are growing in coastal area are called evergreen trees. They do not shed their leaves in a year. So the trees can be observed in coastal area are called evergreen trees. Let me write the term here. Evergreen trees, they do not shed their leaves in a year. Can you give me some examples which belongs to evergreen trees? Coconut, teak, rubber, sugarcane. These are the examples for evergreen trees which are growing in coastal area. Then the trees which are growing in coastal area are called evergreen trees. They do not shed their leaves in a year. Then you have to study the examples also. Next we are discussing about the plants which are growing in marshy area. What do you mean by marshy area? Have you heard it earlier? Here is the picture of marshy area. In marshy area, the soil will be sticky and clayey and which will be covered with water. So the roots of plants which are growing in marshy area cannot get air from the soil. So the roots of such plants will be grows upwards to the soil. Such types of roots which are growing out of the soil to get air is called breathing roots. So the plants which are commonly growing in marshy area will have a special type of root that is known as breathing root, which are helping the plant to get breathe. Can you give an example for a plant which is growing in marshy area? Here is a picture of such type of a plant that is called mangroves. The example for a plant which grows in marshy area is mangroves. Then all of you look at the roots of this mangrove plant. Can you observe any speciality here? Yes, the root tips grows out of the water to get air. That is the speciality of roots of mangroves, and that type of roots are called as breathing root, which are helping the plant to get air. Is it clear? Then we have to discuss about other type of a terrestrial plant, that is plants which grows in desert. What do you mean by desert? Here is the picture of desert. In desert, we know that we are obtaining only less amount of water. So the plants which are growing in desert area which have the capacity to grow using less amount of water. And look at this picture. This is a plant which grows in desert. Can you understand any speciality here? In the plants which are growing in desert, are having some specialities. The stem of these plants are fleshy and the plant is storing the water in its stem. That's why it looks fleshy. Then the leaves of such plants are very small and they looks like spines to reduce the loss of water. Another speciality is here the stem of these plants are doing the function of leaf. What is the function of leaf that we have already studied? Leaves are doing the process of photosynthesis as they contain chlorophyll in it, isn't it? But in the plants which are growing in desert area, though we can see the stem of such type of plants are having green in color as it contains chlorophyll, and here the stem is doing the process of photosynthesis and produce food. Then example for a plant which is growing in desert area is cactus. Look at the picture of cactus. Here you can see the special type of leaves which are having. Looks like a needle, isn't it? So here the leaves are very small and looks like a needle to reduce the loss of water. These are the speciality of plants which are growing in desert area. So these are the three types of terrestrial plants. First one, plants which grows in coastal area. They are known as evergreen plants. They will not shed their leaves in a year. Then you have to study the examples. Then we discussed about the plants which are growing in marshy area. The plants, they are having a special type of root that is called as breathing root, which are helping the plant to get air. And the last type of terrestrial plant is plants which are growing in deserts. They are having fleshy stems, and here the stem is doing the process of photosynthesis and the leaves will be very small and look like a needle to reduce the water loss. These are different types of terrestrial plants. I hope you have understood all the things we have discussed in today's class. That's all about terrestrial plants. Then the remaining part we can discuss on the next class. That's all for today. Thank you.